had a topic yesterday on Blog Talk Radio. We spoke about the girl who got spanked by her father on the internet, but we also talked about the whole Atlanta school cheating scandal. And a lot of people on Blog Talk Radio wanted me to make a video about it. I had initially did a video about it in 2009, and YouTube ended up pulling it for whatever reason. But now it's come out that they have significant evidence, and they have indicted over 75 teachers to come down and turn themselves in that were involved with this cheating scandal. This whole situation is really, really sad and unfortunate. The former school superintendent in Atlanta, Beverly Hall, was charged, and they're saying that she's looking at 45 years in prison. She received over $87,000, and basically they're saying that Beverly Hall is looking at 12 to 40 years in prison if she's found guilty, because she received so much funding, and she received money, bonuses, all types of lucrative deals for bringing up her school system's test scores, which ended up being all a lie, a farce, and a facade. So I'm going to go ahead and play you guys some news clips here, and I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
Teachers and principals accused of cheating students out of an education by cheating on standardized tests. That is right. This is what happened here in Atlanta. 5 educators have now, so far, turned themselves in to face charges in one of the country's biggest cheating scandals. In all, 35 teachers and administrators were indicted. So these are the details, and they're pretty shocking, actually. You've got teachers and principals wearing gloves to avoid leaving fingerprints on test papers, groups holding changing parties to erase wrong answers and fill in the right ones, even using coolers to transport test papers. Former Georgia Attorney General Mike Bowers investigated the cheating scandal, and he joins us now. I mean, this is really unbelievable when you take a look at this. Give us some of the details that even shocked you when you learned about what was happening.
Well, we looked at some 56 schools. We had cheating that we confirmed in over 40 schools. We had 6 principals who took the Fifth Amendment and would not even talk to us. We've had cheating all up and down the line. It was absolutely amazing.
How did they do this?
They did it every way that you can imagine. They had cheating parties. They had erasures in the classroom, outside the classroom. They directed teachers to make erasures. Just anything that you can imagine that could involve cheating, it was done.
And how long did this take place?
We confirmed it from about 06, between 2000 and 2010. It occurred from midway all the way to 2010, but most likely it started about 2001. Over a 10-year period.
That is such a long time. How many kids do you think would be impacted by this?
The thousands.
Thousands of children. What was behind this? Can you tell me, why did they do this?
It's hard to say. Pride. There was an attempt to gain bonuses. There was a lot of an attempt to enhance careers without any regard to the little children. And you have to understand, the children involved here were among the most vulnerable children in this state, which makes it even more outrageous.
Because you have thousands of kids who were passed along the line because of these test scores, who now cannot read and are
cannot write, cannot do arithmetic, and they were deprived of an education. It's just simply, I'm a grandfather, and it's simply outrageous. But not only were the children deprived, a lot of teachers were forced into cheating, forced into criminal acts. Now, granted, they did wrong, but a lot of them did this to protect jobs. And I heard some of the most outrageous and pitiful stories that you can imagine.
From teachers?
Yes.
Who I understand that some of the teachers
who fainted in the interviews because they were just overcome with emotion. And it would break your heart. I remember one teacher who told me, Mr. Bowers, whole thing is a great big joke because my kids, 3rd graders, can't read or write, and I spend my day combing hair, brushing teeth, getting clothes, getting shoes, and making sure they've got a place to go at night. And here I am sitting in front of you admitting cheating, knowing I'm going to get fired. And this is a big joke. And I know I'm going to get fired and lose the best job I will ever have. And I'll never forget her.
Wow. I mean, that's unbelievable. What happens next? I mean, what happens to the teachers? What happens to the kids?
Well, the children, I don't know. I only hope that the current administration will make sure those children get what's needed in terms of remedial education. In terms of the criminal process, that's up to our district attorney, and he deserves a great deal of credit for undertaking this. He's bucked a lot of headwind, but the criminal process will just have to take place.
So you guys just watched the news clip, and I just find the whole situation disturbing. What a lot of people don't want to address is the fact that Atlanta is a predominantly black area. These are predominantly black school teachers, principals and everything else, and their actions are affecting predominantly black children, especially low-income children. And I just find it crazy that teachers would have cheating parties, and sit there and falsify test scores and pass people on to the next grade who cannot read past the third grade level. You have people entering high school who read on the same level as an 8-year-old. And I think that whole situation is sad. And I think everyone should be charged, but we can't necessarily blame the teachers because, again, shit rolls downhill. All this started from the top. And a lot of this started because of these bonuses, these incentives. And when you put bonuses on test scores, there's gonna be corruption. Because everybody wants extra money. Everybody's going to do what they need to do to show the numbers. It's not about the children anymore. It's all about the numbers. It's all about getting that funding. I think that's where America messed up. When you start funding teachers for test scores and not based on, are these kids truly learning? The whole situation is just really unfortunate because, again, who's affected? Young black kids, young inner city kids are affected. And they're the ones who need the education the most. They're the ones who need the most help. They already have a strike against them. And then for you to go to school thinking that you're learning something and your teacher is passing you saying that you're doing a good job, but everything that you've submitted is incorrect. So you have no idea that what you're doing is incorrect until it's too late. And for this to be going on since 2001 is a disgrace. And don't get it twisted, it's not just Atlanta. This is happening all over the country. I think more schools should be investigated. I don't think that this issue is just based solely in Atlanta, but it's just unfortunate because Atlanta is a predominantly black area, and these were predominantly black teachers, and it's affecting a predominantly black school district. I personally think it's a shame my educators, when you would sit there, choose to cut corners instead of sitting here doing your job, which is to educate children. I think all the teachers and principals who receive bonuses, they need to pay those bonuses back or face jail time. Why should you be rewarded for not doing your job? If I get a bonus at work, and they find out that I didn't do my job or I didn't deserve that bonus, I have to pay that back. Why should this situation be any different? Everything is not on the teachers. I think that there has to be a strong parent-teacher communication, strong parent-teacher relationship. The teachers can't do it all. They're overwhelmed. But there's no excuse for cheating on test scores. There's no excuse for changing students' grades just so you can get a bonus check. That's bullshit to me. And that's what parents have to do. You can't just put everything on the school system. You can't just allow the school system to miseducate your children. But personally, I think the whole situation is bullshit. I think it's nonsense. People are even trying to cry racism and saying that Beverly Hall is being picked on. If Beverly Hall was involved in the cheating scandal and she knew what was going on and she covered up, she's just as guilty as anybody else. I don't think it has anything to do with racism. She messed with a lot of people. She affected a lot of children. She okayed a lot of the bullshit, and she got paid handsomely for it. So I definitely think there should be ramifications for her actions, being that she was a school superintendent. And when the shit hit the fan, she hurried up and resigned back in 2009. But now they found even more proof that she was heavily involved. First she said that there was no scandal going on. Now there's proof that she was involved in these cheating parties, that she put a lot of pressure on these teachers. I think the whole situation is a disgrace, point blank. So anyways, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about the whole Atlanta school system cheating scandal. I had a few subscribers that were in the chat room yesterday when we were having this conversation who went to these schools and they felt like they were cheated out of an education. Did you go to any of these schools in Atlanta? Do you feel like you were cheated? And what do you guys think about the scandal in general? And how do you think it's going to affect a lot of these young black children who are not being let out into the world, who don't have the education that they need to move on to the next step? So go ahead and leave a comment. All right. Deuces.